of the Constitution grants this House 6 months to consider and pronounce itself on the report. The 6 months have passed. The report is not ready. The reports are not ready. Even if we gave you another additional 1 year, you may not be able to finish. You may not be able to finish that. And based on that, we are going to adopt all the reports that are pending under COSASE, because the committee that is headed by a leader of opposition has failed to produce what we expect of them. But we need to help this country, because we need to take actions taken on what the auditors found out during their course of work. I want to ask honorable members, while we do all this work, let's not just play to the gallery. Let's do work. Even the Bible says we shall know you by your deeds. And we want to know you by your deeds. How many reports have you presented? What have you done? What are the motions that you've passed? And Rule 216 of the Rules of Procedure are very particular on the documents that are in committees. And these documents that are in committees are a property of Parliament. Nobody is obliged to give out information that is not yet passed by Parliament. I am warning the chairpersons and the clerks for the act that they practice in giving out information. That is a total breach. We will not tolerate that as Parliament. Do what you're supposed to do and leave what you're not supposed to do. Honorable members, based on that, we are going to adopt all the reports and hand it over to Finance for a treasury memoranda. As people's representatives, we have been seeing a lot of information, a lot of messages, a lot of articles regarding NSSF. We need to find out from the Minister of Gender whether the savers' money is safe. We need a report. We need a report in this House from the Minister tomorrow, giving us the status of savers' money and telling us what is the fight about.
As committees, we should be able to do a lot more work than we are doing, challenges notwithstanding. And there are numerous challenges, some of which we have discussed with you, but we must be able to do more. Yeah? And that's why, even with the challenges, I would like to appreciate members of my committee who are active, spare time to be able to do this work. I am thanking them publicly because there are also some members of my committee, like Honorable Alex Ruhunda, who have not attended even one single meeting.
I don't want attacks.
I'm not attacking.
Can we go to the report? Can we go to the report? Let's go to the report.
Madam Speaker, as COSASE, we are very proud that our Speaker is our OG. It gives us a lot of pride and confidence. And Madam Speaker, you remember...
She's an OG with excellent performance.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. That, Madam Speaker, you remember when you were investigating Bank of Uganda, it took over 4 months, and the Speaker Kadaga gave you an extension because of the importance of the work that you were doing. Some people could have thought you were being lazy, but others thought it was important for that time.
Honorable members, I want us to differentiate between an Auditor General's report, which is guided under Article 163(5) of the Constitution, that you're supposed to report back within 6 months. The issue of Bank of Uganda rose out of a member in this house where a member said we should investigate why banks are closed. It was not out of Auditor General's report. Those are two different reports. And the other one, you can even take 10 months, so long as you bring equality work.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I kick off, I request to be guided, Madam Speaker, because you mentioned that today we shall be adopting all reports as they are by the Auditor General. I have two reports, one of Uganda Airlines and Uganda National Roads Authority, which are ready. So I beg to be guided on how I proceed, Madam Speaker.
I am guiding that you present a report of UNRWA. There was a problem in the airlines, is it airlines? Where there was a leakage that was brought, that we ruled upon. We ruled upon that leakage. There was a leakage of a report. A property of this parliament cannot leak out, and you still continue debating on it. So we'll take the report of airline on the report that is presented by Auditor General is what we are going to adopt. We are not rejecting airline, but we are adopting the recommendations of Auditor General. So can we have UNRWA?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Maybe again to seek a little more
and we are
guidance.
we are still investigating on who leaked. And as you are aware, our staff who work with you are already on disciplinary because of that leakage. So we are looking for who leaked that report. UNRWA?
I take your guidance because, as you had mentioned, back then that there would be an investigation. I thought maybe at some point I would also be invited, but that did not happen. But let's in the meantime move with UNRWA as you have guided, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I really want to apologize for calling for a procedural matter when you are communicating, but I was banning because it looked very, very funny that you were communicating and my side where we have the LOP and his cabinet, nobody was there at that time. But Madam Speaker, to communicate
at least
on your communication.
I saw my son Masava. Masava was there, Tikins was there, Macho was there, Elop was there, Honorable Abed, everybody was there.
Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate your communication. Value for money of committees vis-a-vis the work given. Madam Speaker, it disturbs my mind that out of the 170 entities, only 4 entities were handled by the COSASEF committee. And this makes me have understanding and also to question myself whether always opposition, when it is allocating these people or honorable members dockets to chair, they first evaluate and track the record of how they have moved. These are very sensitive positions, and it is in my prayer, Mr. Lop, since you are here, that you communicate to your principals that we have people who were very capable, like Honorable Bedi Bwanikas, they are here. These people would have been able to handle such dockets. Because as I talk now, Madam Speaker, it might be that in the 4 entities, all the money might have been spent. Now, where does the taxpayers' money carry value? Where does it carry value? At the same time, I pray, Madam Speaker, that such matters we are discussed in the House when those particular chairpersons are there. That's why I was interested if the chairperson of COSASE was here. Because one time he was on, I saw him on the television complaining that he has a lot to talk in Parliament, but he's not given time. Why does he have time to go on social media and we have the House of Legislation here? And I believe the chairperson of the COSASE must have ran away and he's not in the country because we are discussing his report, he must have been here. All my colleagues who were there during the 10th Parliament, you remember the days of FDC. It is very important when you are a chairperson of a committee, you must always come early. That is the okram. That's respect to the House. That is respect to the House. That is why always chairpersons of the ruling government, NRM, they are always in the House. And Madam Speaker, with that concern, I pray that Uganda should have a strong opposition. NUP should change from being activists to a political party, because we need to be changed as government to perform.
Honorable Macho, let's not go into political parties. When you're in this house, you're all members of parliament, irrespective of the party you belong to. Whether you're NUP, FDC, I was a vice chair of that committee, and I was a FDC. And I was very active. So withdraw.
Madam Speaker, since we have a capable law, and with your order, I want to withdraw. But NUP as a political party needs to be serious to check the regime in power. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, as opposition, really, maybe has not brought it in a better way. Your work is to check the power, the party in power. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why you're responsible for accountability committees. Now, if you're not checking this side, then what are we doing? And as he has said, value for money audit. We are checking other people, but we don't want to be checked. I am going to ask for an audit. And Lob, I am going to ask for a value for money audit on your committee. Kosase, Park Kosase. Yes, Honorable Ssemujju.
I want to thank you.
The other accountability committees have presented their reports and they are doing well.
I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. And I want to thank you for inviting the Minister for Gender. And we'll wait the details. But my concern, I don't know, but I need guidance from you on how the government is running. Is this government run by President Museveni and his brother and children? Because a Minister of Gender writing a letter saying he's in Kapeka, appearing before General Salim Saleh. And Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, we have had problems even here with MPs. The other day I saw MPs from Sebei cited that they are promoting Muhoozi Kainerugaba is going to in Sebei, and Honorable Chemaswet was there at a press conference. We need to know, Madam Speaker, whether this family is running this country as a family or we have a head of state. I don't know whether the Minister of Gender coming here will also resolve that unofficial running of the state by the relatives of the president. Finally, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ssemujju, was it out of my communication?
Madam Speaker,
I'm just asking, was it out of my communication?
You said the NSSF should come here tomorrow. And part of the problem is that you are inviting a minister, yet the minister is also appearing in Kapeka. So I am wondering if you are going to get Kapeka to appear here. Because that's where the real problems are. That you have a head of state who is running the country together with his children and brothers. Madam Speaker, finally, the issue of...
Honorable Ssemujju, you wanted a president to run this country with you or with who? Your wife, your children?
Madam Speaker, this parliament vets...
MK is the general in the army.
Madam Speaker, this parliament vets ministers every year. Here with Namuganza, the rules say you write to the president. But the ministers are also appearing before Salim Saleh. So
it is actually not the rule, the constitution. It is the constitution. Honorable Ssemujju, I have asked, actually not asked, ordered and directed the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Gender to come and present on matters regarding NSSF tomorrow. And they have to be here tomorrow. Me, I am not aware of Kapeka because I've never been there. So I don't know anything about Kapeka. Yes.
In your communication, you told us about one of the accountability committees, that is COSASE, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, when you compare the tone that is spoken during the meetings in the accountability committees and the report is lukewarm, the tone is very strong during the sessions. When the report comes out, Right Honourable Speaker, it is very low. Right Honourable Speaker, would it be procedurally right, since now that I am talking and even the chairperson of the COSASE committee is in the house, that we give him an opportunity, Right Honourable Speaker, maybe to tell us as the house why this has really happened, that it is one of the accountability committees that has performed lowest and that has not delivered and that has no reports. Right,
Honourable Ssenyonyi, we made a ruling to that effect. Okay? And we are going to get a report of UNRA from the chair. Madam. From the chair of the committee. So as we wait for the report, Lope, I will give you a chance to talk. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, right Honourable Speaker. During the 10th Parliament, much as we talk about corruption, corruption is all over, and the corrupt target Parliament, and that is a fact. What I have observed over time is that it is these mafias now, they have to see how to approach the different leadership of committees to ensure that their wars are concluded here in Parliament. And this is a fact. Actually, I personally, as a member of COSASE, I lost interest in the committee because I could no longer see value of my time and integrity. I could see whatever is being run in that committee. There are so many underhands. So I felt very...
Alex, are you insinuating that there was corruption in the committee?
Of course.
Do you have evidence to that?
Right Honourable Speaker.
Do you have evidence to that?
Yeah, the time will come, I will unveil the facts here. I will come and unveil the facts here. Because I'm not talking.
When do we expect, if you don't have evidence now, then you should withdraw that statement? Because to the best,
right
best,
Honourable. Right
I
Honourable.
am still communicating. If we don't have evidence to that effect, then you withdraw your statement. Because for me, I don't want to be seen that my chairpersons are corruptible. No. But if there is no evidence to that effect, withdraw it until you have evidence. Then you come and lay on table.
Okay, Madam Speaker, I withdraw because I don't have the evidence right now. I withdraw that statement. But Madam Speaker, I want Madam Speaker this to go...
Can I have order?
Madam Speaker,
if
I want this...
you want to laugh, you go and laugh in the corridor.
Madam Speaker, I want this to go on record, that your members and the chairpersons of this committee, they are vulnerable to corruption like any other person who holds a sensitive office in this country. So we cannot rule out that fact, and we shall look for the evidence. It will be unveiled when time comes. But Madam Speaker, the manner in which business of these committees, the case of COSASE is being conducted, is something that we need to interrogate and resolve. Because the committee...
Are you a member of the committee?
Yes, I'm a member of the committee, Madam.
Honorable members, you know how to resolve issues of the committee. And can we leave that to Lope? Lope, that committee is under you. And there are issues that they are raising. You have it resolved. We don't need to discuss it here.
Let me conclude my point, Madam Speaker. I thank you for your ruling, and I am glad you have ordered for an audit of the performance of the committee, and I'm sure there are many facts that will come out arising from that fact. What I would need is we need to protect and keep the dignity of Parliament. Parliament is not a persecuting organ. We are not here to persecute individuals, but we are here using the parameters of Parliament to protect the law and appropriation of resources and safeguard the country. But we should not come and be high-handed because we are in powerful positions and take advantage of being in such a position. I beg to move.
Thank you.
Kwizera.
Honorable Kwizera.
Right, Honorable Speaker,
Workers,
thank you
I'm
very
coming.
much. Arising from your communication and from what the honorable members said, honorable members, one member of Parliament should not criminalize the institution of Parliament because we have the Rules Committee which can investigate anything that has happened. Second, honorable members, who owns these committees? When I was in the 6th Parliament, committees were, yes, 6th Parliament. Committees were owned by the members of the committee, and they would check the leadership.
Honorable members.
But now,
listen to an advice of an elder.
But now what happens is that
this
the
man was even in the 4th Parliament.
But the biggest challenge we have as a Parliament is that the leaderships are imposed irrespective of integrity and the capacity to lead these committees and ownership. And even the reporting system becomes a problem. So it is high time that this Parliament, in its wisdom, checks through who leads the committee, because Parliament performs through Article 90, such that the committees are not appointed by foreigners. You find someone, you are in a committee, they say the chairperson has been imposed on you, even without.
Who are the foreigners, Honorable Kwizera?
I mean, those who appoint committees in Parliament are not members of Parliament.
Government Chief Whip, listen, Government Chief Whip brings a list of...
From where?
From among the members.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So I ought to think that...
Honorable Kwizera...
In the appointment...
Honorable Kwizera, there are no foreigners who choose committee chairs. Unless if you're saying I'm a foreigner, Honorable Bua is a foreigner, Honorable Lope is a foreigner. We are the ones who decide
Can
who is a chairperson.
justify what I was saying? I am not talking about foreign in terms of sovereignty. I am talking that the members of Parliament here have very little say on the committee leaderships.
But your whip has a say.
But
and the commission.
What are the qualifications?
Of
influence peddling, yes. I thank you very much.
What is the qualification of being an MP?
Senior 6.
So why would you want somebody to be more qualified than that?
But performance.
Margaret, I mean workers.
Yeah, thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you so much for your communication, particularly where you talked about, you summoned the Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. And I want to inform you, with due respect, I want to inform the members that the whole of last week, we were awaiting for the Minister of Gender. She was on our program, but she didn't appear for a whole week. That's in the Committee of Gender. We waited and she didn't come, but she had appeared in the media and had a lot of issues that he wanted the world to know, particularly Ugandans to know about, and that there was something wrong. She was the one who took even the initiative, according to what she was talking when she met the media, that she's the one even who asked the IGG to come in. I was so appalled yesterday when she was saying that there's nothing wrong and everything is smooth. I thought they were double standards, and it's unfortunate. So I'm so happy that she will be here tomorrow, because of your request.
I take in good faith your communication relating to the work we do in the opposition. I contend that this parliament is not seeing the opposition heading committees for the first time, and they do appreciate the challenges of these committees. Right Honourable Speaker, I would love that we administratively deal with backlog, because I sense that an omnibus adoption of the reports may not solve the problem at hand. But I'll request my team of committee leaders to retreat, and we find a remedy. We try to appreciate what is pending and what has not been handled at all, so that we can deal with it within the little time available. Secondly, we need to understand that these committees are headed by the opposition, but they are committees of parliament. 99% of membership is from the ruling party. And when their work is curtailed, it's an indictment of all. Certainly, leadership is very key, but all of us must work to make sure these committees perform. And nobody should try to curtail their work because the head is the opposition. And I'd like to ask my brother, the Honorable Alex Luhonda, to be calm. He was the chairperson of a committee in the 10th Parliament, the Committee of Trade. Remember? And was disbanded. So we need to be courteous sometimes, the way we deal with each other when we are handling these matters. So courtesy is the name of the game. So we need to really, the Speaker's communication was intended to align our work. I don't think the Speaker intended to malign any member or a leader of a committee. So the honourable member needs to take a breath and understand that you are here to serve this country beyond our individual interests. And therefore, courtesy is very, very important while dealing with these issues. Thirdly, right Honourable Speaker, we can deal with these challenges, and one of the issues we need to handle in the business committee to finally deal with the issue of backlog is how much time we gazette for these committees. That probably could deal with the problem in finality, and also in-house counsel each other on how to deal with external pressure. At least I have been following my committees and their leaders. I can firmly say that my leaders are safe from any external influence, because I follow them routinely. We had a meeting with the Speaker. The Commission even hired some support to try and align the work of these committees, all to ensure that the reports come out. So if the reports are not coming out, maybe, right Honourable Speaker, the House may have to evolve a framework of dealing with the Auditor General's reports, because in my personal assessment, these reports too have issues. Take an example. Over the last 2 years, probably 3, if I'm not mistaken, there was a migration in the budgeting framework from sector-based to program-based. And the program-based kind of budgeting and reporting requires that there is emphasis on value for money. But the Auditor General is still producing templates of the same funny reports, and therefore committees are struggling to hold these people accountable. So have we migrated? Perhaps we need to, the Minister of Finance should be interested in whether we need to cause amendment to the Public Finance Management Act, including the Audit Act, because we never did away with the Audit Act. A few things are not coming out well when it comes to program-based budgeting. I know the people at the front bench are enjoying it because Parliament is failing to undertake proper scrutiny. Some ministers, I'm saying some on purpose, even some ministers do not understand program-based budgeting. Some members of Parliament do not understand it. So they are struggling. I am following committees handling, dealing with the BFP and midterm performance. They are struggling to adapt and adopt. So, right, Honourable Speaker, we need to have an in-house to understand the migration of the way government is running, so that the executive does not have their own turf, and then we fail to follow what they are doing as Parliament, because then the reports will not come out the way we need them, Honourable Speaker. Otherwise, I would like to ask for your indulgence, and we do an in-house to find a way of dealing with the pending business of the House. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lord. We'll continue doing capacity building on the migration, on the members, on even the ministers and everybody. It's not an easy thing. But at the same time, we need to complete the accountability cycle. And because we have to complete the accountability cycle, we will adopt all the reports today. And after adopting the reports, we will have a meeting. Tomorrow, I'll give you another report, another booklet of all the reports for accountability committees. We can now sit from there and agree how you should handle it. But remember, these are for a financial year. Now you're going to approve a budget before you finish what was there. As an accountant, I appreciate what you're going through, because you're not an accountant like